Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. So today, it will be the continuation of our discussion on international law. So, tingnan natin kasi ngayon there are a lot of issues na nangyayari internationally and it is the right time siguro no para mas maintindihan natin uh, the limitations and ano yung mga rights na sinusunod with regard to the international law. We will just continue from the previous topic that uh, we have discussed last meeting. Yeah, we discussed already the League of Nations, no, and then so yung again no, the League of Nations hindi natuloy. Instead ang nabuo is the United Nations. And about the United Nations, so Philippines is one of the signatory ng United Nations. So whatever the yung objective or kung ano man yung mapagkasundan sa mga ginaganap na convention ng United Nations, so we are just supporting, no? So yan yung yung commitment ng Pilipinas with regard again to international law. Okay. So here, most widely accepted statement of sources of international law. So kasi dito tinitingnan natin o pinapag-aralan natin na kung yung kung paano ba na i-implement itong mga policy nga dito sa yung pagsunod ng Pilipinas for the international law, kung nirerespeto ba niya ito, kasi sinasabi natin na there is no yung one executive or yung legislative na nagki-create talaga ng pinakang guide sa yung batas na susundin, for example ng Pilipinas. So it just happen na we are a member of United Nations, so doon sumusunod tayo doon sa napagkasundoan sa United Nations. Pero yung United Nations hindi naman din yan korte, or hindi yan isang executive branch na kung ano yung sabihin nila nagkakaroon ng pag-convene or sang-ayon lahat ng membro, no? At kapag napagkasundoan na, so yun yung nagiging yun yung lumalabas na international law. So here there are widely accepted statement of sources, yung pinanggagalingan of international law, and under the statute of International Court of Justice under Article 38, no, ito yung isa sa pwedeng pagbasihan, wherein sabi rito, the court whose function is to decide in accordance with international law such disputes as are submitted to it and shall apply. Yan. So itong apat na ito, i-apply itong international convention, whether general or particular, establishing rules expressly recognized by contesting states. Dito sa sa atin, i-apply natin yung tungkol sa sa trade na lang, no? Kasi yun yung ito yung mostly related sa natin sa profession. So all the member tayo ng ng United Nations, pero sa trade kasi ang meron is itong World Trade Organization. So itong World Trade Organization, again we are signatory in this organization. Tinatawag ito na multilateral, no? Multilateral trading agreement. At yun, kapag may mga dispute na nangyari, anong pwedeng maging dispute dito? So samples of dispute is yung tungkol sa trade, no, yung pagkakaroon ng pag-discriminate sa Philippine product, no, kapag there are or there has a discrimination of Philippine product. For example, ang pag-discriminate sa Philippine product is once na yung importation, 'di ba? Importation and exportation. So kapag nag-export tayo, pagdating doon sa country of destination, nag-impose sila ng iba't ibang mga yung paghigpit, o halimbawa tinataasan nila yung taripa, no? Ginagawa nilang mataas, halimbawa 100%. So ibig sabihin yung goods na yon is magkakaroon ng epekto, hindi siya ma-enter do sa destination na bansa. So then malalaman na lang ng Pilipinas na na hindi pala reasonable yung pag-impose nila ng higher tariff. So ngayon, ang kalalabasan kasi nito is magkakaroon ng dispute na yung dalawang bansa, kasi ang magiging action kasi ng Pilipinas diyan, yung product din nila na dinala rito sa Pilipinas would also be imposean din ng same yung gano'n din, mag-impose din ng mas mataas na taripa. So what will happen is magkakaroon ng problema, kasi yung product na yun, kapag dinala sa bansa nila, mataas yung taripa, yung product din nila na same product is pag dinala dito is magkakaroon ng mataas din na taripa. So kawawa yung traders na dapat ma-solve yan. So yun, ang ginagawa is merong pag-uusap diyan. So yung World Trade Organization, so ipapatawag pareho at magpe-present ng kanilang mga reasons, and then iso-solve naman yan. So ganun din yung ibang mga problems sa trading. Minsan kasi may mga reklamo, halimbawa doon sa content ng goods na nirereklamo. For example, yung sasabihin yung one of the ingredients nung product, for example, is yung may issue diyan yung tungkol sa yung sa Century 2 na ba yun? Basta tungkol yun sa product na ng Century. It so happen later on na nakita yung pagiging cancerous nung is galing pala sa lata. So sa atin nagreklamo sa Pilipinas, pero yung can pala nung na yun, sardines na yun is or tuna na yun is galing, hindi naman sa Pilipinas nang galing. So iba yung source. So parang ganun. So dapat lang din ma-resolve at mapag-usapan, no? So international convention, so the international conventions diyan is yung World Trade Organization, no? So hindi lang naman United Nations. So magkakaroon ng pag-uusap para ma-settle yun, kasi nga hindi naman pwedeng pilitan or yung using the force, no? So they have to discuss. Yung pangalawa is international custom as evidence of general practice accepted as law. So ibig sabihin, naging yan yung sinunod na na costumbre or parang way of how they settle dispute, kung yung parang reference before, meron silang same situation before, and then or maraming beses na situation, and then they just use the same solutions to that problem or issue. The third one is the general principles of law recognized by civilized nation. So as a civilized nations, meron silang tinatawag na general principles of law. So kung talaga yung sa tingin nila na yung naaayon sa batas, they recognize it. At being a civilized nation, they applied it. So they can and then use it to solve the issue. Pang-apat is subject to the provision of Article 59, judicial decisions and teachings of most highly qualified publicists of the various nations as subsidiary means for the determination of rules and laws. No, sometimes kailangan ng mga mga experts at yung mga known personalities, yung mga teachings nila, mga doktrina nila, no, na yun yung minsan na ginagamit, no, na basis para isolve yung mga problema. So there are four, no. Again, ang pwedeng maging source is the international conventions, pwedeng international customs, pwede na rin naman na general principles of law recognized by the civilized nation, and then pang-apat is yung mga judicial decisions and teachings of the most highly qualified publicists. Okay. Second, this provision shall apply not prejudice the power of the court to decide ex aequo et bono if the parties agreed to. Ayan. So, parang dito binibigyan ng na yung both parties na magkasundo doon sa sa kanilang issue, no. So there is also consideration to the power of the court, no, to decide. Pero syempre it also include the parties, no. Under Article 38 is a declaration by the states that these are the laws under which they are willing to be bound, no. Type 2, thus another statement of sources is the restatement or foreign relations law of the United States, which says that a rule of international law is one that has been accepted as such by international community states. A rule of international law is one that has been accepted as such by international community of states. So, ibig sabihin nun is parang naging costumbre and then na practice itong ganitong sistema, and then everyone ex aequo et bono. So, pinapractice, ginagawa nila. So, whenever magkaroon ng same situation, they apply this principle. So, in a community of states, in the customary law, A, B, by agreement or form of international agreement, and C, by derivation from general principles common to the major legal system of the world. So, laging may consideration para sa lahat, na hindi nagiging selfish about the about yung kanilang interest lang, no. So, you have to consider ano ba yung pinapractice ng karamihan. So, we have to obey, we have to follow, no, kung ano yung mga mostly practiced by other community or other countries. Okay. The customary international law results from the general and consistent practice of states followed by them from a sense of legal obligation. Yan. So yun, general and consistent practice. International agreements create law for the states parties thereto and may lead to the creation of customary international law, which such agreements are intended for adherence by the states generally and are in fact widely accepted. So, tayo nga ang sa nga natin, sa profession natin kasi nga is dito tayo mas nakaka-relate sa sa World Trade Organization. No? We have also World Customs Organizations. We have the ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and also the APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. So ito yung mga tungkol sa trade naman kasi ito, no. Kasi yung natin, yung customs, di ba? Importation and exportation, and yan yung mostly na pwedeng natin i-apply dito. So yung issue kasi ng ng United Nations, mga ibang issues yun pero rin part din tayo nun. Pero sa mga examples natin, itong mga sa WTO ang pwede nating i-connect dito sa ating sa profession. The general principles common to the major legal systems even if not incorporated or reflected in customary law or international agreements. So, principles, no? Kaya 'di ba itong law natin, no? May mga maxims, no? They are principles, no? Na nagiging basis din. Kaya dito, di mo rin malas sa international, they are applying this, no? Itong common principles or general principles common to the major legal system. Yan. So, what is custom or customary international law? So, this is a general and consistent practice of states followed by them from a sense of legal obligations. So, general and consistent practice of states. So, kasi dito naka-establish na ng na accepted ruling, mga gano'n, no? Na talagang most countries or states ay yun na yung sinusunod. So hanggang sa ito ay may establish na. So yan yung isa sa mga pwedeng maging basis ng application. Kung ano yung yung general and yung consistently na ginagawa before. And there are two basic elements, no, sinasabi dito na the material factor, no, and also the psychological or subjective factor, no. We have also the opinio juris, no, the belief that a certain form of behavior is obligatory is what makes practice of international rule. Again, a certain form of behavior is obligatory and what makes practice an international rule. So, opinio juris. Yan. Kung ano daw yung common or certain belief, no? A belief that a certain form of behavior is obligatory. And yan, what makes practice as international rule. So itong opinio juris is parang opinion ng parang legality yung pagkakaano sa kanya, pagbibigay ng meaning. So that's why it becomes parang lahat ganyan yung iniisip nila. So now that become a certain form of behavior. And then yun nagiging international practice na. Okay. There is also dissenting states subsequent contrary practice, and it protects only the dissenter and does not apply to other states. So ibig sabihin nung mga dissenting may mga sa korte kasi may tinatawag na mga dissenting opinion. Kumbaga although may decision pero one of the justice siya na hindi siya pumabor, no, kasi may sarili siyang opinion about the opinion that is as in although pinag-aralan naman niya pero meron siyang sariling doon findings or dissenting opinion tungkol sa kaso. So hindi naman niya kinokontra yung yung decision ng nakakarami, but he has his own dissenting opinion. So dito naman sinasabi na protects only the dissenter and does not apply to other states. So nagbibigay siya ng ng kanyang sariling rito pananaw, and yun hindi naman niya kinokontra yung nagbibigay lang siya It protects only the dissenter. Parang sinasabi rito na uh, although hindi siya pumabor, pero hindi naman siya, parang nagbigay lang siya ng sarili niyang pagkaintindi ron sa do sa issue. Okay. Okay. So some evidence of state practice and opinio juris, no? Juris. Evidence of state practice and opinio juris. So we have ito kinakalabasan itong mga treaties, mga diplomatic correspondence, statements of national leaders and political advisors, as well as the conduct of the states. Ibig sabihin, there is yung resulta ng ng state practice. So and opinion juris, so kinaang yun na ang pinupuntahan is, so nagkakaroon ng mga treaties, mga diplomatic correspondence, nagsusulat siya ng tungkol sa sa mga pangyayari internationally, and also there are statements of national leaders, mga political advisors. So parang parang ang yan is, example is 'di ba, na may mga nagaganap na there is conflict of countries or states. Ngayon, yung iba nagbibigay na ng kanilang mga statement na dapat or nananawagan na so ganito. So do sa pagbibigay nila ng kanilang mga correspondence, so may mga principles na kasama yan na dapat hindi damay ang mga mamamayan. So dapat may rules about, for example, may conflict nga or war, so dapat ganito ang gawin. So na yun yung masusunod even though may war, pero dapat you have to follow still, or halimbawa sumusuko ng kalaban, o ano ba yung magiging hatol diyan, dapat nananawagan lang, di ba, na ganito dapat. So kung sila ay suko na, di dapat parang pagbigyan. Okay. So the existence of opinio juris is a matter of proof. The burden of proving its existence falls on the state claiming it. So may example tayo na kaso, pero itong kaso na to is Nicaragua versus United States, where one of the issues is whether the prohibition on the use of force was customary law, no? Kung natatandaan ko kasi ito, parang itong kaso na ito is may yung US kasi rito nakingialam, no? Parang kasi may issue ang Nicaragua at US basahin niyo na lang to. hindi ko ma-detail dito kasi sandali lang konti lang tong kaso na to pero ito yung pakikialam nung US, no? So yung issue parang pwede bang magsampa sa US nung reklamo, or sa Nicaragua na lang isettle yung issue. So the existence of opinio juris is a matter of proof. The burden of proving its existence falls on the state claiming it. So halimbawa nagreklamo yung Nicaragua sa United States, dapat doon na lang nila isettle, no? yung na yun, yung issue na yun doon sa Nicaragua. Kasi kung lalabas ng Nicaragua, anong mangyayari? Dadalhin nila sa sa United Nations yung issue. So pwede rin namang dalhin sa United Nations, and then pag-usapan kung yung rito naging action, yung violation probably ng US dito. So yun nga lang, kapag syempre kapag medyo sa United Nations, medyo syempre kailangan pagtiyagaan nila na may file yung na yun sa United Nations. Okay, Next is it considers that this opinio juris may be deducted from inter alia the attitude of the parties and the states towards certain general assembly resolution, and particularly resolution 2625 entitled Declaration of Principles on International Law Concerning Friendly Relations and Cooperation among States in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations. Consent to such resolution is one of the forms of expression of an opin juris with regard to the principle of non-use of force, regarded as a principle of customary international law, independently of the provisions, especially those of an institutional kind to which it is subject on the treaty law plane of the charter. So, ibig sabihin, dapat i-respeto pa rin kung ano man yung mga previously na naging napag-usapan and or mga resolution. Pero sometimes kasi nga yung US is gusto lang din yung ma-maintain yung yung peace and order, no? Parang, so kung nakikita niya na medyo may problema sa sa isang bansa, no, gusto niyang tumulong din talaga That's why minsan may mga intervention diyan na na nagagawa sila, pero hindi naman masasabi mo na totally illegal, no? Sometimes may mga reason, no, especially kung ang involved is human, yung mga tao na yung life of persons. So may mga may mga prohibition din, at may siyempre may limitations din, at titingnan din yung situation kung paano yung paghihimasok or intervention na pwedeng i-apply dyan, no? Kaya medyo maselan nga talaga itong international law. So it should be knowledgeable, no, yung bago umaksyon, kumilos o magreklamo, parang ganun. Yung both parties dapat alam nila na how the international law works. Okay, so here the instant custom, it comes about as a spontaneous activity of great number. So sources of law, no, instant customs, spontaneous activity of a great number of states supporting a specific line of action. In the aftermath of the attack in the World Trade Center in New York, a coalition of forces arose in a matter of months supportive to the action taken by United States against Osama bin Laden. Instant custom, kumbaga, dahil maraming kaibigan nitong US na bansa, so as being a friend, no, nung United States or state, itong mga bansang allied niya, so voluntarily so, tinulungan nila ang US, so nag provide din sila ng support para kung sino man yung gumawa ng rito ng attack, mahuli at mapagbayad doon sa kasalanan. So is instant custom, parang dahil ka agrabyado ka, tulungan ka namin, no? Okay. Usos and opinio juris in humanitarian law, the Martens Clause. Parang mali spelling dun, uses. So uses and opinio juris in humanitarian law. So yung tinatawag na the Martens Clause. So itong Martens Clause na to refers to the paragraph found in 1899 Hague Peace Convention. So itong Hague Peace Convention, ito yung nagpatigil sa sa World War I, no? Kasi dito kumbaga dinidiscourage na yung gera is gawin ng mga bansa. So under the Hague Peace Convention. So it says Until a more complete code of laws of war has been issued, the high contracting parties deem to expedient to declare that in cases not included in the regulations adopted by them, the inhabitants and belligerents remain under the protection and the rule of the principles of the law of nations as they result from the usages established among civilized peoples, from the laws of humanity and the dictates of public conscience. So yung Martin's law, no, is more on yung pagrespeto sa sa humanity and all the so yung yung kung kinakaya ba ng konsensya mo na yung mga tao is ano yan o I mean masaktan, no, or you need to protect them, itong humanity, no? Until a more complete code of laws of war has been issued. So dito kasi 'di ba there is war, sige, we have to move on sa war kung andyan na lahat ng mga guide, no, para at least kasi kung may guide diyan, civilians, human will be protected, no? The high contracting parties deemed to expedient to declare that in cases not included in the regulation adopted by them, the inhabitants and belligerents remain under the protection and the rule of principles of the law of nations as they result from the usages established among civilized people. Kasi dito, siyempre, may both countries, may war, for example, may war. So, kayo lang, pero yung citizen, huwag nyo nang idadamay. Kasi kayo lang yung galit sa isa't isa. So, kayo lang ang magsagutan, mag-harm sa isa't isa. Kayo hanggang sa matapos siguro yung nararamdaman nyo dyan na pero siyempre you have to protect the citizen din, o magkaroon din ng rules for the protection of the citizen o yung mga human, no? Humanity, kasi humanity na mas malaking yung destruction, pwedeng human ang diyan may involved. So the treaties then the treaties determine in the rights and duties of states just as individual rights are determined by the contracts. Kung halimbawa may treaty about war o ganun, pag-usapan ito, ganito yung ating magiging rules, yan. 'Di ba, kahit sa sa boxing, sa although competition yun, pero may conflict 'di ba, yung both parties. Pero may rules, yan, para masabi mo na kasi kung walang kung walang rules diyan, syempre parang mangyayari niyan, no? Hindi magiging kumbaga parang walang I mean, nasa war na nga kayo, pero as a state dapat ka rin, sumunod ka pa rin sa sa rules, no? Even though galit na galit ka, pero kasi nga may mga protectionan, or kung hindi ka susunod kasi diyan sa rules na yan, sa mga napagkasunduan sa treaties, is lahat sila against sa iyo. So you have to follow para yung iba, kasi makikialam lalo kung halimbawa superpower ka talaga, and then kayang-kaya mong pabagsakin yung enemy mo, you have to respect then the laging ganun you have to respect then the rights of the of the humanity, no? Their binding force comes from the voluntary decision of sovereign states to obligate themselves to a mode of behavior. So dahil pagkasunduan nga, and then somebody violate the treaties, and then yung other states naman syempre yan, magiging against sa'yo because you don't follow, kasi nga that was agreed upon before. Yan. So itong pacta sunt servanda naman, yun, dahil treaties, 'di ba? So kung ano yung napagkasunduan sa treaties na yun, it should be kept, no? Dapat i-honor ito nung state or nung bansa na diyan kasali, no? Sa Pilipinas, sinusunod din natin ito, no? Itong Pacta Sunt Servanda na to. So sa Philippine Constitution stated that under uh, uh, Article 42 42 Article 2 Section 2 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides for an adherence to a general principles of international law as part of the law of the land. Okay, so ibig sabihin kapag nag-join tayo, nag-agree tayo, naging signatory tayo ng international law, section 42 to, no? Article 2 section paragraph hindi alam yung Philippine Constitution. Kaya check natin kasi nga may may number 42. Wait lang. So let me Pacta check ko lang Pacta Sunt Servanda. Yun talaga nakasulat no? 42 Article 2 42 Article 2 Section 2. So under this probably paragraph to ng section 2 or kasi ang Philippine Constitution may mga may mga section so bawat sections may mga articles. So sa bawat articles may mga iba't ibang mga provision na nakasulat. So again, itong Pacta Sunt Servanda is once na tayo ay naging signatory sa isang treaty, sa agreement, inauthorize naman ng Philippine Constitution na yung treaty na yon ay i-honor dito sa Pilipinas, no? Adherence to the general principles of international law as part of the law of the land. Kumbaga kapag signify tayo diyan ng natin, pagsali o pagpayag, yan ay magiging part of the law of the land. Ngayon nga lang ito ay may process pa rin. Hindi naman automatic or absolute yan na kapag yun na nag-signatory na tayo, pag uwi yun na. But so hindi siyempre alam paano. So ng mga ibang mga tao. So ang gagawin diyan is i-ratify diyan sa Congress, no? At magkakaroon yan ng either Republic Act, yan from Republic Act magkakaroon ng mga implementing rules and regulations. And also importante rin na ma-publish yan para malaman din ng mga tao. Sasabihin mo, ay hindi naman ako nagbabasa. Yan. So yun na nga ang sabi ng states, nag-publish na kami. So your obligation is to read, no? So, doon papasok na naman yung ignorance of the law excuses no one. Hindi ako nagbasa So wala akong alam diyan. So yun, yung doktrina, yung principles na ignorance of the law excuses. Hindi ka excuse kahit hindi ka sabi mo hindi ka nagbasa. O dapat magbasa ka kasi ginawa na ng states yung kanilang obligasyon. So ano yung obligasyon ng states? Pinablish. So dapat magbabasa tayo. Ayan. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, read the law. Okay. Kahit yung mga kung talagang may pangarap kayo, makakatulong yan, no? Or you can be pag nag-mature kasi kayo maalala nyo yan. I mean or nasa isang situation na kayo, sabi nyo parang nabasa ko to before, no? Pero sa Pilipinas kasi syempre may tayo dito, may mga broker tayo, no? Halimbawa graduate ka ng Customs Administration, graduate ka lang, no? Yung isa mong kaklase customs broker pumasa. Ngayon sino yung mas paniniwalaan sa inyong dalawa? Although meron ka namang ano doon, alam, pero siya kasi is nakapasa. So, sa kanya mas makikinig kasi nga he is yung napaprove niya na naipasa niya kasi yung exam. So, kasi siya ay licensed na, no? So, kaya tayong lahat dapat yung dito kasing college is a preparation yan eh. So, meron kang 4 na taon na preparasyon. So, ang gagawin mo lang is to read, no? Read customs law, tariff and customs law. And then, syempre, yung mga professor nyo, they will interpret naman sa inyo. And then, ma-absorb nyo, you can now interpret. And then, kulang na lang yung license. So, mag-take ka ng license. So, ngayon, ikaw na ngayon ang magtuturo. Ayan. So, hindi lang sa customs, no? Pwede ring sa sa law din mismo, sa bar or sa court, attorney, no? Ayan, yung mga gusto magporso pa rin dyan, no? Hindi naman bawal. Kaya, pwede kayo. Ayan. So, general principles of law recognized by civilized nation. So, inulit lang din natin, no, yung sources of law. Itong general principles of law, na-discuss na natin ito kanina, no? The third source cited by the statute is the general principles of law recognized by civilized nation. Okay? This is also referred to as by the restatement as general principles of law recognized by or common to the world's major legal system. This has reference not to principles of international law but to principles of municipal law common to the legal systems of the world. So, yung tinatawag na municipal law, yan kasi yung yung application ng pagdating na sa domestic na do sa state mismo, yung application ng batas na internationally. Kasi 'di ba kanina na-recognize ng Constitution, Philippine Constitution. So, ngayon i-apply na sa Pilipinas. That will be called as a municipal law na yung application. Kasi nga yan eh. Para bang magiging common na rin do sa sa bansang mag-absorb or tumanggap nung ganong nung ganong principle. So, common law to the legal system of the world. They may be in a sense be said to belong to the particular system of law but are evidence rather of the fundamental unity of the law. Most of these principles, however, have either become part of the customary law or have been incorporated into the conventional international law. So, applicable na ito sa lahat ng states and also sa international. The general principles of law recognized by the civilized nations. Okay, I think that will end the discussion for today. So, kung may mga additional notes pa about this, I will just provide or discuss it again to the class. So, again, for the J1, A1, J1, A2, J1, B1, no? I am just studying lang din. Hindi naman ako expert sa law. I'm just sharing and then trying to apply what I could share to you. Hayaan nyo later pag na talaga tayo. So, mag-aaral pa rin lang, no? Pareha lang tayo ng estado na mag-aaral din kayo, mag-aaral tayo para sa ikaunlad ng bayan. Pwede namang in the future maging kayo, international lawyer, di ba ganun? So, maraming pwedeng puntahan itong pag-aaral na to. And again, thank you everyone for listening. Bye.